98,269 fans are packed to the rafters. That is a truly brilliant tribute to Nicky Hayden.
The Italian Grand Prix is underway. You can't hear yourself breathe here at Mugello.
Rossi leads the Italian Grand Prix.
He goes Lorenzo on the inside.
It's a sweep through in second place.
So the two Yamahas ride together, and Vinales has done what Rossi's done to everybody else, but then he's made it stick to marry Vinales and Piaggio back in front.
There we go, Zarco's through. That's Zarco brilliantly up the inside of Jorge Lorenzo. Vinales can't break the shackles of those behind him. Dovizioso piling on the pressure through.
Dovizioso on the outside. Can he get in there? He can. Andrea Dovizioso leads the Italian Grand Prix.
It's Petrucci up the inside of Rossi. Can he make it through? He does. Darrow Petrucci brilliantly. Petrucci in the top three. What a move on Rossi.
It's gone through on Vinales. Very same manoeuvre as he did on Valentino Rossi. Danilo Petrucci now in second place.
We're in Mugello, we're in Italy, and we've got an Italian 1-2 on the Catti machinery. Who could have called that? Vinales has got the inside line. Surely he's going to make that stick on Petrucci. Yes, he does. Petrucci knows there's still a lot of work to do to get that first ever MotoGP podium, because the last man you want breathing down your neck here in Mugello is Valentino Rossi. Andrea Dovizioso starts what could be a career-defining last lap. This is Dovizioso's race to lose, surely. There's been a late tangle, Crutchlow and Pedrosa. You can clearly see Danny Pedrosa's at fault there. Cal Crutchlow's absolutely incensed.
He is going to give victory to Ducati here in Mugello. Dovizioso wins. What a season we've had so far.
It has certainly been a wonderful season, an amazing round 6 from Mugello, and now we're at round 7 in Catalonia. It is a beautiful afternoon in Spain, just out of Barcelona, the old Formula 1 circuit. Hello and welcome to round 7 of the MotoGP season from the Catalunya circuit in Barcelona, Spain. Daryl Beattie is beside me in the disco shirt tonight and looking very nice.
Well, you know, Howie, when you have back-to-back races and you go from Italy to Spain and Mugello to Catalunya, it is a bit of a party.
And you've stepped up very, very nicely. Let's get straight into the standings, Daz. And the great thing about this season, every week we come, you don't know who's going to be on pole. You don't know who's going to be in the front after the first lap, let alone the last lap. Maverick Vinales maintains his championship lead, but Dovizioso is the big mover.
Yeah, he certainly, those 25 points were a wonderful thing at Mugello for him, and with Bologna down the road in the factory, it would have been a great celebration, Howie. But, yeah, certainly a few twists so far in the story at Catalunya where we are tonight, and I think the race will have a few more twists as well.
Just before we get into qualifying highlights, we have a look at them now. Danny Pedrosa, his second pole of the season, the 30th of his career. Once again, you don't know what you're going to get from him, but when he's good, he's very good.
Yeah, it's been a crazy week, Howie. It's first of all, it started here with the chicane was changed for this year. There was a lot of crashes, safety reason, bikes were losing the front and skidding across onto the old part of the circuit. We've now reverted back to the original chicane from last year, still not back to the original circuit which we had in previous years for safety, but all in all, Lorenzo finished up on the front row, as you said, Pedrosa as well. There was 5 Spanish riders out of the top 6. Petrucci there was the other one coming off another great result in Mugello and putting that Ducati on the front row. Marquez crashed. Well, that's been the story of the weekend so far. He's continued to crash, along with his pit lane stumble this morning in the warm-up and a crash in the warm-up as well. He's had 6 falls so far this weekend, Howie. Quite unbelievable, really, in many ways, but still managed to qualify 4th. There was another fall there, again on the front, and track temperatures were up around 55 degrees. Not unusual for Barcelona or some of the Grand Prix we go to around the world. Valentino Rossi struggled. Vinales was probably a little more frustrated, and we could see that through the footage on the weekend, and again in the warm-up this morning. Here's Vinales here, but all in all, the best of the Yamahas finished up being, surprise, surprise, not Zarco, but his teammate Folger. was the best of the Yamahas who went through Quali 2, and went through Quali 1 into Quali 2, and Folger again topped the warm-up times this morning, but as you can see there, that is the qualifying times for tonight's race.
Maverick Vinales, his toughest qualifying session of the season in his work performance down in 9th position. Valentino Rossi has qualified in 13th position. So as you mentioned, some real problems for the Yamahas. Danny Pedrosa, they'll be sitting very nicely in pole position. Marc Marquez, he's crashed 6 times, Darryl. What's he chasing?
7.
Right.
Oh, Howie, it's been... obviously Marquez is quite hard on the front. We've seen, you know, how hard he pushes that front tyre, and with track temperatures up so high as well, it's caught him out. So he needs to calm it for the race, get some points in that bag, because he's already behind those championship leaders quite a bit. I know it's going to be difficult for him to do that at home with the excitement, but yeah, we're in for a real strange race. And someone like Pedrosa, who's easy and smooth on tyres, this is a chance for him to score well. Also, for a surprise rookie win, we could see anything.
Yeah, so much to look forward to. Let's hear from the pole sitter for the second time this season, Danny Pedrosa.
We were trying a lot of things today because it was an important day, and the heat was very high, testing tires and testing settings, so we managed to improve, but we hope that tomorrow the bike is well for the race, and it's very important, the tire life, so we are a lot focused on this. It's a track that is difficult to control, this part, but we will try to manage. So at the moment, very happy, and second pole of the year is super.
Yeah, super indeed. There is Danny Pedrosa. We saw in the opening highlights that last lap crash with Cal Crutchlow. Without that, this man would be sitting probably in second position in the championship.
Yeah, Cal's another one too that's it's had a terrible run here through qualifying, the lead up to the races as well. Just scanning through those warm-up times again, Howie, as we're watching it live pictures here at the circuit as they prep to head out on the circuit. But Folger was the fastest of the riders from Reading, Espargaro. Jack Miller was up there this morning, Zarco, Dovizioso, Rossi, Petrucci. And then as we go down the order, Vinales was 11th, Marquez was 10th, Pedrosa was 13th. So what that tells me is that track temperatures this morning were probably only about 35 degrees versus 55 in qualifying. So really hard to get an indication of any major changes you want to implement for the race when a lot of them were struggling. But I think what I see there is that some of them trying to persist with the harder tyre, looking forward to the race tonight, and some of those guys up the pointy end looking at running that medium front and rear tyre for the race.
So much to get through, Daz, before the race, but you mentioned a young lady last week by the name of Freya Christensen, who is a 5-year-old in Canberra who is suffering a rare form of adult cancer. The MotoGP world have really got behind this cause, trying to raise money. This is incredible. Describe what Valentino Rossi's holding up there, Daz.
That's a letter that he wrote. This goes to show how much passion he has. It's beautiful. But a letter he wrote about his Yamaha M1 when he left to go to Ducati. It's a great letter. It's been typed out. It's there for everyone to see. But they're photocopying that, and they're going to auction it. Fingers crossed that something along the lines of this pulls good money for a cure for Freya. And there's lots of other stuff as well. There's a lot of people behind this that are doing a lot of work in Europe, Howie, and there's some great items.
Cureforfreya.com. Jump on there, www.32auctions.com. A cure for Freya. 1, you'll raise money for that delightful young lady. 2, you will end up with some absolutely unbelievable MotoGP paraphernalia. Big crowd in the house. They love their motorcycles in Spain. Everyone's in readiness. We're about to head out on the circuit. We have a look at Hector Barbera in start number 250. Up next, we'll have a look at the circuit, the Catlunya in Spain. MotoGP on 1.
These days, you look in the mirror, but nothing.
The Sharks have found the perfect invention that can help save the barrier reef. And it comes with the most heartwarming story.
We've spent our retirement, so we need to make this work.
It's completely original and ticks all the boxes.
So what's the catch?
I'm sitting here wanting to do this deal, but you've stuffed it up.
New Shark Tank, coming to Tuesdays.
I'm a bad man, I'm a bad man, I'm a bad man, I'm a bad man. Baby, I'm a real bad man. I'm a real
With intelligent all-wheel drive, this is the new Ford Escape. This is the new Ford Escape.
Grandpa said we were supposed to celebrate his life. Come on, everyone, get your hat.
Turns out that life goes on without you. I loved him, and I know that he loved me. Without you.
When tragedy strikes, Randall will reassess his life.
How do I honor my father's legacy?
And it will lead to a life-changing decision.
It's just something I gotta take care of.
New This Is Us, Wednesday.
Grandpa said we were supposed to celebrate his life. Come on, everyone, get your hat.
Turns out that life goes on without you. I loved him, and I know that he loved me. Without you.
When tragedy strikes, Randall will reassess his life.
How do I honor my father's legacy?
And it will lead to a life-changing decision.
It's just something I gotta take care of.
New This Is Us, Wednesday.
With rear tray tables. This is the new Ford Escape.
The Sharks have never done business with someone quite like this.
I've never even had a credit card.
She's the savvy granny who's worth millions.
2 million turnover.
Games against Scotland are never easy.
The Wallabies have had some fierce battles.
And he just bounces off fully.
And they always go down to the wire.
Remarkable game he's having.
This will be one hell of a game.
And Johnny Gray has it down.
The Wallabies beat Scotland.
Live and free on 10.
Looking forward to that one. A nice job by the Wallabies in Melbourne, taking down the Fijians. Now it is Scotland next Saturday, 2:30. Matty White and Berkey and the whole crew will be on that one, Daz. Nice start by the Wallabies by their campaign. It'll be interesting when the All Blacks hit town, Daz.
Oh, yeah.
A touch more difficult.
One eye shut for that one, Howie.
Yeah, I would have thought so. Let's get straight into the circuit, Daz. It is a very nice circuit. As we know, the F1 cars race here and have for quite some time. 4,655 metres. They've made some changes, as you mentioned at the start, for safety, Daz.
Yeah, you can see that chicane, the run down before 15 and 16. That was changed again, as we mentioned earlier, as the riders come around in the formation lap. You see Patrick.
With rear tray tables.
Yeah, I would have thought so. Let's get straight into the circuit, Daz. It is a very nice circuit. As we know, the F1 cars race here and have for quite some time. 4,655 metres. They've made some changes, as you mentioned at the start, for safety, Daz.
Yeah, you can see that chicane, the run down before 15 and 16. That was changed again, as we mentioned earlier, as the riders come around in the formation lap. You see Patrick there. Patrick's been with Michelin, wowee, longer than I was even at MotoGP. He's in his final year. See him running in behind Pedrosa. Big moments for this race, I think, Howie, in many ways, because it's grip levels at this circuit, as we've touched on a little bit. It's an old surface. There's a lot of riders now. Gibernau's been alongside Pedrosa this season. There's a lot of riders now saying this track must be resurfaced before next year. It's the old original surface. It's abrasive. It's low on grip, especially when temps are high. It's the same for everyone in this race, so there are no surprises. There is a test here on Monday, which is going to be very valuable to Michelin, but also to the teams, and especially Yamaha, who's struggled the most out of anyone here this weekend. And the theory behind that as well, is not only the circuit, but we look at this year with some of the tests we've seen, and the Yamaha tested at Le Mans. Honda didn't test at Le Mans. Yamaha won at Le Mans. Before that was Jerez. That all tested there, but Yamaha really struggled at Jerez in those higher temperatures like it is here today. And then Ducati won in Mugello, but that's been their circuit where they've done an enormous amount of laps. And 2 weeks before this event here now, Honda and Ducati tested here, but Yamaha didn't. In the past that sort of hasn't made a massive difference, but it seems like it is at the moment.
My word, there's the Italian Danilo Petrucci. Had a nice race last outing at Mugello. This time starts on the front row for the very first time. Stick around. Up next, the full race build-up to round 7. Danny Pedrosa on pole in Barcelona, Spain.
My hair feels stronger than I could ever imagine. New Pantene shampoo and conditioner. The Smart Pro V formula finds your weak spots and helps make them stronger. Train your hair strong. Strong is beautiful.
Introducing the new Ford Escape SUV.
I'm going
Come out and play in the new Ford Escape. Not just another family SUV.
My hair feels stronger than I could ever imagine. New Pantene shampoo and conditioner. The Smart Pro V formula finds your weak spots and helps make them stronger. Train your hair strong. Strong is beautiful.
Introducing the new Ford Escape SUV.
I'm going
Come out and play in the new Ford Escape. Not just another family SUV.
In the next few years, we'll be streaming twice as many videos, with 5 times the traffic, in a world with billions more connected devices. That's why we're building a new kind of network, so you can thrive.
My hair feels stronger than I could ever imagine. New Pantene shampoo and conditioner. The Smart Pro V formula finds your weak spots and helps make them stronger. Train your hair strong. Strong is beautiful.
Introducing the new Ford Escape SUV.
I'm going
Come out and play in the new Ford Escape. Not just another family SUV.
What a rock star, Jorge Lorenzo. What do you think he's playing in the headphones there, Daz?
That looked pretty, a bit embarrassing in about 20 years' time, that shot, how he won it.
It looks rather uncomfortable just sliding along the pit lane there.
Leathers are never that comfortable to walk in, but yeah, he's got the tunes going and all focus. You remember it's his first front row start for Ducati since he's joined the team at the start of the season. He's got great success here at this circuit, starting from the front row, so it's going to be a tough day in the office for all of them. It's hot, and they're going to be working overtime to keep him up on that black rubber.
You mentioned Jorge Lorenzo, the 9th straight year he has started on the front row, Daz, here at Catlunya, which is absolutely fantastic. You can see it's a beautiful coastal city. For those that haven't been, I'm not in charge of tourism there, but a nice wander-upless, rambless, and maybe a bit of sangria later on in the afternoon, Daz, a pretty appealing part of the world. But anyway,
Get you in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, no, you can. There's no doubt about that. Just back to Jorge Lorenzo. He's continued to make improvements, starting second on the grid. That at the start of the year was almost unthinkable. So they're heading in the right direction.
Well, they certainly are at the moment, Howie, and I think, you know, we're talking about 1-2 races, and as we touched on at the last race, it's this is what they need to be doing every weekend, and they you know, it doesn't need me to tell you this, but you know, for them to be competitive and fight for the World Championship, they'll do this every weekend. This is interesting here. They look like they have maybe changed their mind on what rear tyre they're going to run in the back of that bike. So I know that through qualifying and the run when the track temps were up, similar to what they were this afternoon, Folger and some of the Yamaha guys were able to run the medium front, medium rear. It was more likely that everyone would finish up on the hard front, hard rear, but it's going to be interesting once all those tyre warmers come off. We'll be able to see what choices each individual rider has chosen. But Ducati are making a late change there.
32 degrees, expected top in Barcelona today. You can see him just topping everything up for Valentino Rossi. As always, a big fan base for him, but there'll be track temperatures in excess of 50 plus degrees.
Yeah, 55 around. That's the number that we saw yesterday, maybe a little more today. A guy like this with so much experience, even though he struggled, he starts 13th on the grid. He's a long way down. It's going to be a long race, and someone with the experience that Valentino Rossi's got, certainly not, you wouldn't think he's not going to win from there today, but if he can just look after those tyres and just keep ticking away, his goal today is to watch people come down in front of him and score maximum points towards that championship.
And just briefly, Jack Miller qualifying in 15th position. We always know the first couple of laps he picks up positions. He's been more consistent this year.
He's had a good run. He really has had a good run this year. Still a lot of talks around about his contract for next year. I think the question mark is, will it be directly in Spain?